Now, for our last conversation in this first hour of Good Morning Namibia, reaching the youth in the community holds significant importance as it cultivates a future generation equipped to address societal issues like abuse. It is with this background that Zane Law Firm aims to reach the youth in the community and provide an opportunity for the youth to become empowered and speak out against abuse. With that said, the director of Zane Law Firm, Charlemain Husselman, who is also the group of the final year law student at UNAM, now joins us in studio to give us all the details on this. Good morning, Ms. Husselman.
Good morning, and thank you for having
Thank
me.
you so much for making time to join us this morning. Now, your firm is embarking on a youth empowerment
Yes.
project, and the focus is basically on abuse. Kindly just talk to us about that.
Thank you so much. So basically, as a group of final year law students, we were sort of tasked to have an impact project as part of our final year activities, and we identified um, sexual abuse and the reporting of sexual abuse as a key topic that we want to address, considering that every other week there's a report of a child or a teenager reporting abuse or
Yeah.
pregnancies resulting from abuse. So we wish to directly engage with the youth on such topics, and how do you go about reporting?
All right. So, how does the Zane Law Firm uniquely engage with the youth in the community? How is it that you do it? Do you perhaps do workshops? Do you come together as a group, perhaps go to churches, visit schools, or how exactly do you go about engaging the youth?
So with our group, since this is our final year project, we are pressed for time because some of our reporting, as you know, requires us to finish this to graduate.
Yeah.
So what we are doing, we're having a direct engagement with students at schools. We have approached some of the key uh, high schools that we think really need these interventions, where we then go to the schools as a group, and the teachers with the assistance of the teachers and the principals, and we talk to them. We start the topic of, do they understand what sex is? Do they understand what abuse is? And we talk about Section 14 of the Immoral Practices Act, and we talk about how the Combating of Rape Act defines what rape is, and what does consent mean, and the age of consent. So we engage on these topics with them.
Amazing. So, how does the firm's involvement with the youth empowerment align with the broader societal goals of fostering a safer and more supportive community?
So what we see is this is a broader conversation, and we saw it best if we start the conversation at the schools with the learners. This can foster into broader conversations with their peers, with their parents, and we've had this conversation now with Emmanuel Shafiri High School, and we are planning to go to Commerce High School. We also is targeting one of the high schools in the north, where we will then hope is to, as we start the conversation at these schools, they will then start talking to each other. They will then sort of build up the courage to talk to their parents about these issues that they face, because we know in Namibia it's a conservative households that we have, and our hope is to break through that barrier, to have children approach their parents,
Yeah.
and to also have kids approach trusting adults if they are victims of abuse, or if they know of a friend or family member that's a victim of abuse.
Amazing. I mean, you definitely mentioned that you're pressed for time, but
Yes.
what are some of the challenges you've encountered so far with engaging the community on abuse?
Some of the challenges we've encountered mainly is around the fact that we've realized that our youth are having sex,
Okay.
and talking about the dangers of sex is, some of them don't take it up as seriously as they should. So uh, that's one of the challenges that we are trying to sort of navigate in this conversation, to have that serious conversation with them. Um, we've also had the challenge, we know that oftentimes younger children are victims, and because of age restrictions around engaging them and needing the consent of their parents, we could not sort of reach out to primary schools to have that conversation. So that's one of the challenges that we obviously had to sort of navigate, which is why we are targeting high schools. And then, of course, the conservative nature of talking about sex. Sometimes the kids at school say they can't talk to their parents because parents say, no, you can't talk about sex until you're married. But we know for a fact that there are teenagers engaging in sex. Our high teenage pregnancy rate is an indication of this.
Yeah.
So we are definitely trying to see how we can best address that challenge.
All right. Now, seeing that this is a school project, does it
Yes.
end when your term also ends at UNAM, or do you perhaps continue on with the project?
So basically, this project will end obviously when we have to submit our final report at the end of the year as part of our graduating modules. However, we have had requests to go back to schools, especially with Emmanuel Shafiri, because the teachers were so grateful for the conversation that we had with the grade 11s and grade 12s. And our hope is that even after we finish our studies, we can still come together as a group and go visit these schools, because one of the things that we also do is we donate sanitary products for the girls as well as soccer balls for the boys. We have received sponsorships from institutions such as Simony Storm Securities, Els Music Group, so sorry, and Nambili Mata Legal Practitioners, who saw the value in our project and have sponsored us with some funds as well as sanitary products that we aim to distribute to these schools.
Amazing. Well, we love the work that you're doing for the community. We hope the project also continues, you know, once you definitely do submit them. But we love the work that you're doing, and all the best with your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us on the show to talk about our project.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere. Good Morning Namibia continues after this. To stay tuned.